In this module, we are going to talk about two important functions for error handling purpose. One is the if error and the other one is the is error method. Now, if error and is error is basically used to handle the errors. Now, basically we use if error to do most of the thing, but is error is also there. Okay, so is error can also be used, but actually this is error is a bit cumbersome. However, we'll just check both of them out. Now, whenever you do any kind of an expression, or if you if you write any values or you write formulas, you get a return value or you get an error. So that error tells you that you have done or make some mistake in your formula. Now, the error message can be quite annoying for the front-end users. So you want to replace them with some custom messages, which gives them an idea as to what kind of an error has occurred. So in that case, these kinds of functions are helpful in solving that problem. What kind of an error can come up? Basically, these are the common errors which you pop-ups whenever you work with your formulas. These are hash values. This error pops up when one or more cells in a spreadsheet contain text instead of. So, for example, if you are expecting you're giving us text instead of a number, or one or more cell in the spreadsheet contains text instead of number for mathematical operations. So you're trying to do a mathematical operations when you're passing text. Hash name is when you're trying to give a wrong or incorrect range name, okay, an operation name or something like that, right? Or you're putting a text without quotes. In that case, this hash name comes because it doesn't know. If you're giving your formula name incorrect, that time this hash name would come up. Div 0 comes up when you are trying to divide a number by 0. And that is where it will show you this error. Any is not applicable, meaning that when applying the function to any cell, there exists no values. That means you're doing a lookup or a VLOOKUP or any lookup, and you are searching for any value which does not exist. In that case, you'll get this. Ref is this accelerate is for invalid self-reference. So if you're trying to do a self-reference which is invalid, which is incorrect, then you might get this. And of course, number is there when you're passing some numbers to your functions, which is either too small or too large. So in those cases, these kinds of an error will come up. So these are certain common errors which you normally encounter in your day-to-day activities as far as Excel is concerned. Now, how do I replace these messages or these error text by some meaningful text as far as my business is concerned? For that, we have this if error function, which is very, very handy. So let's see how this if error methods or if error function works. So if you look at this list, here we have the employee ID. And if I give the employee ID just like a VLOOKUP, and if I give the correct employee ID like 133 or 12345, I'll get the department number and the extension number. So let's see. I say is equal to VLOOKUP, lookup value, table array, column index is like department is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the kind of lookup is exact match, so false, and that is done. It's fine. Similarly, if I go for an extension, I'll say is equal to VLOOKUP, same formula, lookup value, table array, and column index is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5. And we want an exact match. Done. That's fine. But the problem comes up if somebody mistype or gives the wrong ID which does not exist. And this is what kind of an error which comes up, which is this error. Okay. Applying function to any cell and there exists no cell value. So for the existing employee ID, there isn't any employee ID like that. So it might say that no such department, or you can say no such employee ID exists. Now in that case, we can use an if error. So we can say if this expression if this value is throwing a error, then you do this, else you show that value. So let's say employee missing or employee data missing. something like that. I didn't say enter. So here if you say employee data missing, so here it shows you that this department employee data is missing, or this employee ID does not exist, whatever it is. So if I make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, it's training and this. Similarly, I can do this with a lookup, which is is error. So let's see. Is error is a bit lengthy one, because this error will either return true or false. So if you look at this is error and say enter, so it says false because it doesn't return any error, right? So it returns false. So if there is an error, it returns true. So on top of this, I have to again apply if and say if logical test, if this is throwing me an error, and if the value is true, so if I close this error here, if it's true, then it should show me that employee information missing, or employee missing, whatever valid. And then else, if it is false, then I have to do this again, this lookup. So that's the problem with this function. It becomes lengthy and it becomes very complicated. Right? So people don't tend to use this much. So it says enter. So it says that 47320. And if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it says employee missing, or I can share employee data missing to make it look both same. So if I could have used if error here as well, but I just wanted to show you how is error works. So is error becomes a bit complicated compared to if error, which is a bit simple. So normally we'll be using the if error part more than the is error part, right? So this way we could actually handle error in our sheets and make our sheets look more, business class. It might look more, it might display some messages which the users understand. So, or if error, in fact, is a handy function to handle errors with some customized messages.